You can leave it to Marvel to get me emotionally attached to an ant. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the show. I'm the friendly film fan, Jacob Jones. Thank you for watching. This is my review of Marvel's Ant-Man. It's the newest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, rounding out Phase 2. It is a smaller film. It's a heist film. Basically, Scott Lang, he's this guy who's kind of down on his luck. He's just getting out of prison. He wants to see his daughter. He wants to be with his family and do right by that. And he wants to make his life better. He wants to live a better life as a free man. And so he's just kind of going about his everyday business, but he's struggling to make ends meet, and he, kind of gets this thing about a tip, and long story short, Michael Douglas, the original Ant-Man, needs Scott to pull off a heist for him. And I won't tell you a whole lot about the heist, or what it involves, or who it's for, or whatever, but I will tell you, this is one of the better Marvel standalone films that I have seen. Now, it's got a lot of humor in it, and a lot of the humor really does work. They have a few Easter eggs that kind of tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it doesn't feel too forced, and I really like that about this movie. I really like the way that this movie is going to feed into the rest of the MCU without feeling like it's forced to. It still will feel kind of like its own smaller movie. I know there was a lot of drama with Edgar Wright leaving the project, and then Peyton Reed coming on to direct, and a lot of people didn't know how that was going to go. Don't worry, it's completely fine. The movie's pretty cool. They finally stopped doing that thing in Phase 2 where, like, Avengers don't cross over into other people's movies. They actually do that in this movie, and it's really refreshing to see. I don't know if that's a huge spoiler or not. I won't tell you, like, who or what the situation is, but they have finally stopped that little Phase 2 trend, and I really like the way that they did Ant-Man in this movie. I really like the way that they it was an origin story, but it also wasn't an origin story. It was like a passing of the torch. It was more like a passing of the torch sort of thing, where Michael Douglas, the original Ant-Man, kind of handed the gauntlet to Paul Rudd, who's the new Ant-Man. And that was kind of a cool way to make an origin story for a character that's not a traditional origin story. And I really like kind of that method. I hope we get to see more of that later on in the MCU and in superhero films in general. Paul Rudd, as lead in this movie, he's perfect. He's perfect as Ant-Man. Evangeline Lilly is also in this movie, and she's really great. The only other movies I've seen her in were the Hobbit movies, where she didn't need to be in there. Neither did the Legolas arc. Half the stuff in the Hobbit movies did not need to be in the Hobbit movies whatsoever. Another conversation for another time, though. She's really good in this movie. I don't really feel, though, that she was given... it is an Ant-Man origin story, so they're going to focus more on Ant-Man, but I don't feel like Evangeline Lilly was given enough to do to where it could really be like, okay, I really sympathize with her character, and I want to see more of her story and what she's going to do in the future. Michael Peña's character in this movie, in the beginning, you think he's going to be like the most annoying character in the movie. You think you're just going to hate him, but you end up liking him the more the movie goes on, and he has most of the great comedic moments in the movie. He is absolutely hilarious. Corey Stoll is great as Yellow Jacket in this movie. That shot when you first see Yellow Jacket, like with the full suit on, standing up in that trailer, it's just as awesome in the movie as it was in the trailer. Yellow Jacket was kind of underdeveloped as a villain. I kind of wanted to see more of like what made him, and Marvel has that kind of trend going on for them where they're not super developed with their villains. That's more DC's strength, but I would like to see the villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe start getting more developed. That way we have a more complete picture of why they do what they do. It kind of feels like they come in for their solo movie and then they get defeated and then they just kind of leave. Despite Paul Rudd being the perfect casting for him, and the best performance in this movie is Michael Douglas. The guy is golden. Michael Douglas is, he knows the acting game. He's been doing it for years, and he is just as great in this movie as he's ever been. He kind of plays Scott's mentor and teaches him how the suit works and how to interact with the ants, and it's a really cool way that they do this. And really, that's all I have to say about Ant-Man without spoiling anything. I'll try to put up a spoiler talk. I don't know if I'll be able to just because of how busy I'll be in the next 2 weeks. I will try to get up a spoiler talk if I can. I'm going to go ahead and give Ant-Man 8.2 out of 10. I'll give it an 8.2 out of 10. Not really as good as Winter Soldier and Iron Man. Those are still my top tier standalones. Like, those two are just awesome. But then there was Ant-Man. So Ant-Man's in like third place as far as the standalones go. For me, I don't know, maybe you have a different list. Guardians fell really flat for me, so it's actually kind of low on the list. That's not really relevant information right now, but I figured you should know anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. What did you think of Ant-Man? Did you enjoy it? Did you not like it as much as some of the other solo Marvel films? Did you like it better than a lot of them? Were you disappointed that there wasn't as much action in this one as there wasn't a lot of others? Comment below this review. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you next time.